So when they hear Tom Pelissero say all this about minor injuries, this and that, guys expected to play, you'd have to imagine they're breathing a sigh of relief. Stars against the Jaguars come Sunday. Tyreek Hill, though, he loves what he's been seeing so far this preseason.
We all excited, man. We got a lot of weapons, a lot of playmakers on this team, man. So everybody's, on the very edge of their seats, man. Just waiting for this moment. I think these three days that we had off, all I could think about, was just lining up, playing, alongside of the guys, on offense. So I'm very excited, man. Like every year is another opportunity, man. Like to win games and create memories, man. Like with a great group of guys. And you said it, like this is our best team that we done had since we've been here. So what a time to be alive, man. To be a Dolphin fan.
All Cheetah can think about for the last 3 days, Peter, is lining up and playing. Can they make the leap this year?
A lot of people are picking the Dolphins to go to the Super Bowl this year. If you don't want to go Chiefs, it's like, who's the other team? Is Rodgers really going to last 17 games in the playoffs? Are the AFC North teams just going to beat up on each other? Do the Ravens' offensive line? Then you look at the Dolphins, and it is electric. They have so much speed. Achan's healthy. You've got all these different players. You've got players coming back from injuries on defense. And as you're thinking about Super Bowl, if you're a Dolphins fan, you've got to really go step by step by step. Can we win the AFC East? Yes, you can win the AFC East. Can we win big playoff games? Well, we haven't done that yet. And in fact, I unveiled this yesterday, and I want to go back in time, not to put salt in the wounds for Dolphins fans, but of all 32 NFL franchises, no fan base has waited longer for a playoff win than the Miami Dolphins. We go back to the year 2000, their last time they won a playoff game. It was against a Peyton Manning-led Colts team. Manning in just his third season in the NFL. Peyton had yet to ever win a playoff game. He was up 14-0 in this game against the Dolphins in Miami. But the Dave Wannstedt Dolphins, led by Jay Fiedler and Lamar Smith, were able to come all the way back. And guys like Zach Taylor and Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor were on this squad, of course. But this one went to overtime. Right after Marino retired, Jay Fiedler hitting Jed Weaver on a 9-yard pass. That right there, Rob Conrad is in that footage.
This feels like a different sport.
This feels like a different time. That's how long Dolphins fans have waited to win a playoff game. This was in overtime, an awesome 17-yard run, sent them to the playoff the next round, and obviously they would go on, they would lose to the Raiders, but what a cool moment. They've been to the playoffs a bunch since. They have. They've played in a lot of playoff games.
Sorry, Peter. I think I just saw Rondé Gadsden.
You did see a Rondé Gadsden. Number 88.
It's great.
Is that what you do? You just go through the season?
Yeah, I mean, just shout him. It's just
unlike, though, so many teams that are like, the Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. Like, they haven't even experienced it.
They get
Dolphins get there. Like, they go.
Adam Gase got there.
Adam Gase got there with Matt Moore at quarterback.
Yeah, remember.
Let's look at what the last time we saw the Dolphins, though, in a playoff game, because I know you've got visions of fantasy football and you've got visions of 70 points against the Broncos in September. This thing was ice cold. It was on Peacock. It was on a Saturday night in January. Andy Reid's, mustache was frozen. And if I'm just being honest, it's like there's no world where that Dolphins team was going into Kansas City in that weather and was going to win in January. That's the big question. It's not whether they're going to get there. They'll probably get there. It's not whether they can compete in September and October. Do they make the leap? I don't know. If you're a fantasy football owner and you're here drafting, yes, they make the leap. Achan's going to be great.
It's not about that.
If you're a Dolphins fan who's like, notch on the wall, we're going to the playoffs. Yes, you'll likely go to the playoffs. Like, great. Are you making the leap? I can't, in good faith, no matter how much money you just paid Tyreek, no matter how much money you just paid Tua, I can't, in good faith, say you're going into Baltimore or you're going into Kansas City or you're going into Pittsburgh in cold weather in January, and you're going because you haven't done it yet.
Maybe those places go to Miami.
That's what they'll have to maybe do.
Right.
Right. Are they going into Buffalo? They haven't gone to Buffalo in January and won that big game. So are they going to make the leap? Maybe. That's my answer. And I would love for Dolphins fans who have had this long-suffering drought to experience it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. I mean, there are questions. I mean, for me, one of the questions really has to do with the defense. What will this team look like? Like, look, we know that offense will win games, and you heard the whole saying that defense wins championships, right? But to be able to get that push, this defense, they lost Christian Wilkins, right? There's of course, the injury to Bradley Chubb, and then Jalen Phillips, and where the health and they're concerned how they kind of make their way back into the defense. And so that, to me, this is a team that was ranked 10th in defense last year, and I'm not quite sure that their defense are going to be as good as they were last year. And so that's, to me, a concerning part. This offense has everything. They have the speed, they have Tyreek and all this other kind of stuff. Tua, we get it, right? Now, can they make that next push? I think the other thing was last year when you looked at this offense, how they struggled against winning teams.
Yeah, for sure.
And they were 1-5 against winning teams last year. So when things broke down, it broke down when they should have been stronger. So I want you to take a look at their schedule this year, because look at who they have going up in week 2. They've got the Bills. Bills last year were 11-6. I think they're going to pull the graphic up here. They got the Rams. They got the Texans, the 49ers, the Browns. They were really, really strong last year. How will they do against these teams?
Sure, those games jump out. They needed some quality wins for sure.
Yeah, so that's gonna be the question. So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know that they take that leap or whatever it is, the big leap that I think a lot of people are expecting them to get to the playoffs, like you were saying.
Okay, this is an honest conversation. Akbar saying I don't think so. Peter saying I'm not sure. Maybe. This is I think it's a Mike McDaniel conversation. Like, this is the guy who's going to get them there. And there's a cool kids club of young coaches right now that he should be in. For all he represents as an original personality, original perspective, great backstory, incredible future. Mike McDaniel should be a celebrated story in this league. The best coaches win playoff games. And typically, they do it by their 3rd season. This is season 3 for Mike McDaniel. We have had 2 wild card losses. Guys, Dan Campbell, year 3, title game. Kyle Shanahan, year 3, Super Bowl. Zach Taylor, year 3, Super Bowl. Sean McVay, year 2, Super Bowl. Year 3, Mike. We love the eccentricities, the personality, and the ingenuity on offense. It's incredible. It's a couple wild card losses. You have Tua entering his prime. You have Tyreek, maybe in the last year of his prime. We don't know. You've got young players everywhere, and you, more importantly, are entering your prime. You're settled in. We are now over how you dress and how you talk. You're just part of the conversation. You're part of the family. But he is not part of the Cool Coaches Club, because the Cool Coaches Club, they don't just have fantasy seasons produced. They don't just have regular season wins produced. They win those huge January playoff games. And I don't beat up on McDaniel. I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's certainly on the hot seat contractually. No, he's set. There's going to be a couple games that he should win. And honestly, like last year, it wasn't even close. The year before, the quarterback was hurt. I totally get it. This year, there's a no excuse year. If the Dolphins lose in the wild card round this year, it's a big eye roll. It's time. And if it's not happening now, when does it happen?
I have a question for all 3 of you at the table. Obviously, we've all been covering the NFL. You played in the NFL. You played college football. Jamie, you've been covering it. When people say they're good in warm weather, but they can't win in cold weather, is that like the ultimate insult to someone's
Toughness.
livelihood, toughness? Are you basically saying you guys are soft? And is that really what? Because that's the kind of the impression, like, yeah, they'll be good in September and October, but meet me in cold weather in Buffalo and let's see where you're at. Like, is that an insult to your character?
It is. It's personal, but it also, I've never put any real credence into that. Oh, it's cold. Yes, everybody's going to have to make adjustment. It'd be like the same when somebody comes to Miami. Oh, this team can't play in the humidity, in the hot weather. Like, we're athletes. Athletes adjust. So I've never really kind of bit into that.
Or been insulted.
I used to not give it any credence, and then I watched that playoff game on Peacock, and it's I don't know if they wanted to be there in the second half, and the Chiefs are just completely settled in. I think home field advantage is massive for the Dolphins this year. If they're a 1 seed, a 2 seed, I think it could be different playoffs. I do.